I'm Jim Richards. You know, sometimes people have asked me, why doesn't God answer our prayers? Well, I guess sometimes that's according to what you mean by prayers. But you know, there's a couple of instances that people will go to in the Bible and say, see, God didn't answer these people's prayers. They'll go to where Paul said, you know, I asked God 3 times to remove this thorn from me, and he said his grace was sufficient. And I'm like, he did answer the prayer. He manifested the grace of God, which gave Paul the strength to face what he was dealing with. And some people say, well, what about Moses? You know, Moses asked God to show him his glory. God didn't show him his glory. God showed him his goodness. Oh, wait a minute. The goodness of God is the glory of God. You know, we have this concept of God, of this macho, testosterone-fueled being who rips mountains up by the roots and manifests who he is by judgment and power and fearful things. But you know, the real truth is, when Moses requested to see the glory of God, God showed him his goodness, because the goodness of God is the most wonderful, the most powerful, the most overwhelming, the most inconceivable aspect of who God is. When Jesus came, he was the glory of God. He showed us how good God is. We haven't seen the glory of God because we've seen judgment. You know, the Bible says when you get to the Holy of Holies, you don't come to a judgment seat, you come to a mercy seat. Mercy triumphs over judgment. You see, the starting place with knowing who God is, the starting place of seeing how glorious God is understanding how incredibly, inexplicably good he is. And when you start there, everything you see about God looks better than anything you've ever seen before. You know something? If you want to discover more about the glory of God and the goodness of God, click the subscribe button below, and I'll pop you an email this Thursday, and I'll share a message with you about the justice of God, which really gets into his glory. And it's going to answer questions that I bet you've been asking all of your Christian life about whether or not God's fair and how his glory is manifest through his goodness. And, I'm just telling you, it's going to be a game changer for you. So, if you're not really interested in that particular message, though, you can go to impactministries.com. There's hundreds of messages on how good God is, on how to walk through almost every single issue in life. So be sure and click below. I'll pop you an email this Thursday, and you know what? Everything in life is going to look better when you see how incredibly good God is.